Welcome to this celebration stream here. It's PHP 8.3 days,
Oh
folks.
my God.
We've been looking forward to this day for a year, basically, and
Mhm.
yeah, today we're just going to have a great time with here with Freek and Roman, but also with all of you in chat. So just say whatever thoughts are coming to your mind. If you have some questions about the things we're talking about. Yeah, we're just gonna have a great time together as the PHP community and celebrate a bit with each other. And just to be sure that everyone knows who everyone is, everyone say hi in chat. And meanwhile, I'm going to quickly introduce Roman and Freek. Freek, maybe let's start with you. You're a totally new face on this channel.
Yep, indeed.
Who are you?
So I'm a decent human being living in Belgium first and foremost, and yeah, of course, I'm a PHP programmer and I've been programming now for I'm going to show my age now. I think for more than 20 years. I think now. So yeah, I've been around a bit. So I also have a big heart for open source. I've created numerous packages, both for Laravel and PHP agnostic packages. I have a company called Spasi, which creates digital products, also creates or manages projects for clients using PHP. Couldn't have built that without PHP. I also made Odir, which is an uptime tracker, also built with PHP. I organize user groups that got started because of PHP. So yeah, PHP is a big thing in my life, you could say.
Yeah. You started with COBOL, right? If I
I started with
remember.
COBOL. Yeah, you
Okay,
know me.
just
Yep.
to show your age, yeah. We used to be colleagues, Freek and I.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Fun times,
and
fun times.
yeah, uh, but yeah, we still keep in touch. And I thought it would be nice, Freek, to invite you here because,
Thanks.
well, you're really, yeah, you're into PHP, we can say. And if you want to talk
Mhm.
about PHP, it's a good idea to have some people involved here. I also invited Roman. Roman, maybe introduce yourself quickly.
Hi,
Hey.
my name is Roman. I started with PHP when I was a student. I had to build a conference website for one of the departments at my university. I had no idea what is PHP, but it seemed to be like a nice choice for web development. So I did that and really liked PHP back then. I think it was 2007, something like that. And then I started to work as a PHP developer, and I also was very involved into community. I was writing newsletters about PHP and blog posts, and then JetBrains reached out to me and asked if I want to do that for JetBrains. So in 2018, I started as a product marketing manager for PHP Storm.
Yeah.
And later I met Brand and Freek at a conference in Belgium.
Yeah, PHP Benelux, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was a very nice conference. And a couple of years ago, I was involved in launching the PHP Foundation. Me, Joe, and Sebastian, Stefan, and many other people helped that happen. And since September, I'm working full time on the PHP Foundation, managing its operations, and I'm no longer responsible for PHP Storm per se, but more involved with the foundation. So I'm happy to share something about that as well later today.
Cool.
That's me.
Nice. Cool.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe I should do a quick introduction then as well. So I'm Brent. Hi, everyone. And I've been doing PHP for, I think it's a little over 10 years now, 11 or 12 maybe. I started around PHP 5.4, I think. So actually, I'm not really that hardcore of a PHP developer. Well, it depends.
You are.
It depends. I've seen like the good times of PHP. The dark ages I kind of missed.
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm in love with PHP and its community. Actually, when people ask me about Brent, why PHP? You write about and you make videos about like strictly typed languages, and you have a vision for PHP. Why don't you just move to another language? And I say, people, PHP is so much more than its syntax, and so much more than an interpreter, and it's a community, right? And there's a huge ecosystem. Laravel comes to mind, Symfony comes to mind, WordPress. There are so much great tools that have stood the test of time, and I really don't want to give up on all of that. So for the time being, I'm really happy with PHP. I see some room for improvement as well, but what a great language, what a great community. And yeah, I'm happy to celebrate 8.3 now. It's kind of
Yes.
impressive that I think with 5.4 somewhere, maybe you can correct me on that, internals decided we want to have a strict release schedule. Maybe it was a little bit earlier, and we're just going to do yearly releases, and they've been managing to do that. All of that, like for the past 10 years now, I think.
Yeah, I think it's 5.4 where that changed. I know 5.3 was like the active version for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Even, and like the versions before that was like when we feel like it, basically, and there was
Exactly.
like a long time between it, which felt like the language had like become a little bit stale at the time. But since 5.4, yearly releases, that was a very good idea to do this, I think.
Yeah. And impressive that people keep managing to pull it off, right? Every
Yeah,
release
indeed.
gets 3 years of support, maybe 4 years in the near future. There's an RFC for that. And these are just people who are passionate about PHP, and thanks to the PHP Foundation now, which I really want to give a shout out at the start of this stream as well. Companies are coming together and supporting the PHP project financially. The foundation is employing how many developers now, Roman?
It's currently 6, but a quick news that we're going to share soon is that we're going to have 4 more developers joining.
Wow.
So we're going to have 10 people working on PHP, paid
Wow.
by big companies. Yes.
Very nice, very nice. And I think I'm really looking forward to how the foundation will keep having will like keep evolving the language, and will grow its impact in the language for the years to come. So it's really great to hear that there will be 10 paid developers, people who can work on PHP as their job. That's pretty nice. That's hopeful for the language.
Yeah, it's good that there is like a formal organization now around it, I guess. I think it's still quite impressive that the language that is used so much is being maintained by so low number of people. But it has worked for like 25 years now, like this. But I think, like we said earlier, it's now in a much better state than in the PHP early PHP 5 days. I applaud the what you're doing, Roman. So
Thank you.
It's very good.
Definitely. Hey, maybe it's a good time to take a look at PHP 8.3 because that's the thing that's releasing today. And let's just run quickly through the features, just real quickly, and take a look at what's happening here. I've got my blog post here.
I know this blog post.
I try to keep it up to date every year. And also, people watching on YouTube, if you want to watch this video after this stream, just click on the channel, click subscribe. You know what to do. Let's take a look here. The first one was read-only amendments, and there were actually 2 parts of that RFC, but only one passed. But pretty nice. We can now override read-only properties while cloning objects, which is useful, especially from like frameworks points of view that they want to do deep cloning, right? Cloning objects with all their sub-relations. So, and that's available now. Pretty cool. I think
this is like,
it makes sense.
This is like a little bit of a common theme in PHP development, and probably also in development of other languages as well. that like in a version, like new features are being added, and then in the next version it becomes a little bit more polished, and this is a little bit of polish around it, which is always nice.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm still hoping that we get clone with syntax at one point, but I'm happy to see this evolving as well. So yeah, like you say, Freek, it's just polishing, which is kind of the feeling I get with this release. There aren't any like huge features, but it's just a lot of polishing work, which is good. You know, it keeps the language stable, and it keeps taking steps towards the next major PHP version.
Yeah, indeed. And I said like it's just some polish, and you repeat it after me, but we should definitely lose that word like just in it, because the polish is an important part as well, I guess.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
To you guys. Do you think, so you mentioned clone with, do you think this is the only piece left for read-only story to be like polished and complete?
It's a good question. For me, it's definitely the one feature that I'm missing the most. What I'm also looking forward to is like a way, and that's coming with if the RFC succeeds with property accessors, is a way to, you know, have more fine-grained control, that from within the class you can still make changes, but from the outside you cannot, which there have been some ideas about it in the past, but I think property accessors is now like the biggest has the biggest chance of succeeding, I think, which I believe we could use to achieve that. But yeah, apart from those two, I'm pretty happy with read only, and I use it quite a lot actually. Yeah, but I'm like in the strict camp.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, Brent.
Yeah,
I haven't used it. I haven't used it a lot, if I'm honest. But I'm happy to be there, because one of the good things about PHP is that people have choice to do this. The option is there to use it, and that's good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's move on here. Typed class constants. This is just another, this is another polishing step. Types were missing for constants, and they are added now. So just, you know, putting the dots.
It's very logical. For newcomers, this is like golden, right? Because if you're like a newcomer to the language, and then I can type everything, and then not this, why not? I just confusing, and now that confusion is a little bit gone, so that's good.
Yeah, definitely. That's a good point, actually. Just make the language more consistent, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
One question here might be, is like, why would you it's a constant, can the type change ever?
Like that's something I thought as well, that because it's a constant, you'll never change the value, so checking for its type might not make that much sense. But if you look at it from a static analysis point of view, just having more type information available is a good thing, I would say.
Even if you can infer it, for me it's also like a little bit on a human level, like you don't have to think about it. Can I type this or not? You can type everything.
Exactly.
But there's also one addition. I consciously ask this question. So if you extend a class, or you're implementing an interface that has a constant, you actually can change the value, and and consequently the type can also change. But now
But is that the case, that the type can change with this RFC?
No, with this RFC it cannot. Because if you declare the type for a constant in a base class, when you extend it or you implement an interface, you have to have the same type. You can change the value, but not the type. Whereas before this change, you could change the value and effectively change the type as well.
So it's actually a bit of a safeguard there.
Exactly. Yes.
That's pretty nice. I think that's a good thing. Cool.
This is the kind of knowledge that goes into like PHP quizzes or something like that. Like you extend this, can you change the type? Yes or no here? And nobody knows for sure.
Hey,
except
so
Roman.
yeah, Roman is like a knowledge oracle for PHP at this point, I feel. Um, oh, but someone in chat said it as well. So type of constants is indeed for inheritance. It's pretty useful. Hey, thanks for sharing. The next one here is the override attribute, which is a way to make sure that if you extend a method at one point from a parent class or an interface, if you mark it with override, it means, hey, this method should override another method. Let's say the parent contract changes at one point. And you forget to change the child implementation, then PHP can tell you, hey, you forgot to change something here because you told me this method should override something, and it's not overriding anything at this point. So you might want to take a look there. So yeah, that's that one. I don't know if I'll use it all that often, especially because, you know, when I refactor things with like with my IDE or with Rector, right? It takes care of these things for me most of the time. So I haven't really found a case where I thought, hey, override would be very useful here. But on the other hand, I'm looking at it from a project's perspective, maybe from a framework or library perspective. It might make sense to add these things in some places. I'm not sure. But yeah, it's here. We can use it. I don't know if you have any thoughts about that.
Yeah, I have the same thoughts as you. It's hard for me to come up with a scenario where I personally would use it. I think it's nice that it's there for people that want it, but yeah, I'm having a hard time even coming up with a good scenario where this is useful.
Well,
I was on your side first. I was like, what is this scenario? But let me share you a story. It was like a story from literally yesterday. So a friend of mine, he has a startup built with PHP. It's actually quite a successful startup. But he built it like a long time ago with the E framework. The code is quite, I mean, it's not very nice code, let's put it like that. But it's a very successful project. And he had some issue, and we were just hanging out, and I helped him. And he said, "Yeah, let's upgrade E framework because there were some security issues or something like that." So we run just composer update. It updated other dependencies and included framework, and then E framework. When after upgrade, it shows you in the console. It shows you a list of what has changed.
Yeah.
And what I noticed there, they say the function signature for controller select has changed. It has an additional parameter in case this method is overwritten. You will need to update your child classes accordingly. So if this override attribute was already there, then your class could have this attribute, and you wouldn't need this message, and you wouldn't miss it in case your overridden implementation is different, the signatures mismatch, and now you will be notified just by your PHP that hey, you need to do something about this.
That's actually a good example here, and I think it's the same what Duka is saying in chat as well. It's most useful when you extend the package, right? Because you're not refactoring there. So it's actually you're giving some good examples here.
That's a good argument.
Yeah. By the way, I just noticed we're at, well, right now I'm not sure, but it varies a little bit. But there are 100 people watching this stream now, which is an absolute record for this channel. So I really appreciate it. And people, if you're watching and you're like, hey, I like what's going on here, just copy paste the link into your Twitter or X or wherever, and tell people about it. That would be nice. Maybe we can reach 200 people. But let's move on here. Some breaking changes as well. Bug fixes. I did a whole episode, a video on this channel here about breaking changes in PHP 8.3. these things are necessary, Freek. We already said, like polishing the language, right? These things really are about polishing the language further and removing things that are weird but might have a breaking
Consequences,
consequence. Exactly. So in this case, for example, when you had an array that started with a negative index, you added a new element, you would expect the next element here to be at index -4, but it was at index 0, which is weird. And people might rely on this kind of behavior, which is weird, but PHP fixes it. So technically it's a breaking change, but probably a good one to fix.
Yeah, this is for me, this is like, the tension between like, is it a breaking change or is it a bug fix? Because you can see it as like a long-standing bug. And I know in PHP as a language, we should be careful to probably have like breaking changes like this. But if this would be like in a package or in a framework, it would be seen as like just a bug fix, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of packages, Freek, you have quite a lot there. Over, what is it? 200, 300? I'm not sure. I lost count.
Yeah, I lost count too.
but I can imagine you run into these kinds of situations as well, where there's a bug fix and people might depend on it, but you're just gonna fix it and it might break some code, but it doesn't necessarily warrant a new major version, right?
Yeah, indeed. Yeah, that's like the tension between like, is it a bug or is it a bug fix or a breaking change? And personally, when like a new package is released, I very much tend to be like on the side of this is a bug fix, and I know that technically it's breaking, but if you're relying on it now, you're doing it wrong. So I'm going to correct that.
Yeah. Hey, Roman, you shared some thoughts with me a couple of weeks ago, I think, about like breaking changes in PHP. And I think you had some pretty good ideas about it. Maybe you want to share something? I didn't ask you this up front, so you can say no if you don't want to.
Yeah, no, actually. So yeah, let me maybe give a background. I was thinking that PHP has too many BC breaks lately, and I was feeling like that was uncontrollable. And I was trying to understand how other languages approach this and what should be, maybe we should have some kind of policy and rules for introducing BC breaks. But during my research, I learned more about the other ecosystems, and I also changed a little bit my mind about PHP as well. And I think my conclusion is that well, if you try to be super conservative and not introduce any changes that may feel as a stagnation, which we obviously don't want to have, but also compared to other ecosystems, PHP is quite old and was developed very in a not unstructured way sometimes. So it has this kind of legacy and bad behaviors. Like this one that you're having on the screen. It's not, I mean, yes, it is a BC break, but it's, as Freek said, if you rely on this, you're doing something wrong. So we have to fix this kind of legacy so that language is more reliable and it's more predictable to newcomers and everyone who learns it. So I still think that we need sort of some rules to evaluate BC breaks. So the changes should not be just for the sake of change. They should either be fix of some wrong behavior, like a bug, like this one on the screen, or they should be they should bring some real value to users. For example, performance or security, or I mean, performance would be most preferable. But just deprecating for the sake of deprecation, maybe it's not a good idea. So, and other thing that I learned is something that Node.js has. They have this stability index, so they mark every feature as first as experimental, then as stable, and then they can mark it as a deprecated. And when they mark it as a deprecated, they will not remove it, but they kind of discourage you to use it. This is something that PHP already does, by marking deprecated, but we kind of when it's marked deprecated, it's kind of a signal that it will be definitely removed.
Yeah.
Maybe sometimes it shouldn't be removed, but mark as deprecated. Yeah, it's deprecated, won't be removed, but you shouldn't be
Interesting.
using it.
Yeah. Interesting.
These are some thoughts that I have. Yeah, I want to. Yeah, I will publish my blog post. I want to maybe have raise this discussion about this in PHP community. I think it has been discussed many times when dynamic properties has been deprecated. But then I did research actually. So I just to remind everyone. So and stop me, please, Brent, if I'm going too long.
No, you go
we
ahead.
have time, I guess.
I'll listen. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so when dynamic properties were deprecated, you had two options basically to, or maybe three options to kind of work around it. First, you could create real properties instead of dynamic, the obvious choice. Then you could extend your class from std class, or you could add allow dynamic properties attribute.
Yeah.
So what I did is I checked how many projects actually use actually extend std class or use this attribute. And guess what? It's not that many. It's like 3% of projects.
How did you check that, or did you check like your own projects? Or...
No, I mean, yeah, of course. This is I checked open source projects that have permissive license. So this is obviously not the same as real production projects. Maybe
but it gives an indication.
Yeah, but it gives, like, if you compare this to some other features that had a similar level of runs around it, or the opposite, they were like maybe just accepted unanimously or silently, but you have comparison, like which features were actually adopted more or which were not. And it's a very interesting result. For example, fibers, another feature that has been had quite a bit of ranting around it, but the usage is quite low, very low. But it's different because from the very beginning, fibers were considered a low-level feature, and it was specifically made for a few packages,
developers,
and React PHP. So what I'm saying is that it's very interesting to take a look back and how these features be used, and I'm very excited to see how this new override attribute will be used, read-only improvements. It's very exciting. I'm really happy about the way the PHP evolves and moves, and I'm even more excited on how it's going to be next year.
So, and what I think is interesting, Roman, is that you're doing that now, and without putting any pressure on you, but you're of course involved in the foundation. You can take this feedback, that the things you learned from the past, so to speak, and have it actively like improve PHP in a certain way in the future. So that's pretty nice. Yeah, cool.
Yeah, that's exactly the aim.
Hey, let's quickly go through the rest of our list here, because we also wanted to do some other things on this stream. By the way, people, can we get a quick round of applause in chat, because the one and only Nuno Maduro joined. I just saw we just Nuno and I did a stream on this channel 2 weeks ago, and I also asked him to join this stream, but he was a little sick, yeah, that's unfortunate. But Nuno, glad to be here. Nuno is the pest guy, and he's doing quite a lot of other things. Hey, let's continue with our list here. Anonymous read-only classes, just another polishing thing. I think there's not a lot to say about it besides, hey, yeah, that makes sense. Good,
you can do it now.
Yeah, exactly. There's the JSON validate function, which is interesting. It checks whether a JSON string is valid, but it doesn't necessarily decode it in full. Because what you used to have to do, if you wanted to check whether a JSON string was a valid JSON string, is to decode it in full and load everything in memory. And if there weren't any errors, then it was valid. And now there's a dedicated function that will... It's pretty simple. Well, it's not simple, it's internals, but from what I understand, it will just stop as soon as it encounters an error. So yeah, that's a good addition, I think, especially for frameworks that are doing probably request validation, REST APIs or APIs in general that are handling a lot of JSON stuff. This probably might have quite a big impact on server resources. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm a fan of a function like this, and I guess this will be used all over the place when working with JSON. And I think in like maybe already a year, you can't imagine living without this function in PHP because it will be so commonly used, I think.
Cool. Another one, I have to admit, this is it kind of sounded like a small feature, the randomizer, when it was added, I think in PHP 8.1 or 8.2, I can't remember, but it's such a great addition to PHP. This is an example of just taking an existing concept and making it more modern, giving it a new API, super convenient. And it's just, it blew my mind the first time I used it. I was working on a video and I had to do some random number generation and for a Livewire game I once made. It was pretty fun. And this randomizer class, it was just so much better than having to use functions that used global state to generate random numbers. Pretty nice. And it gets some additions now. So you can now get bytes from string. So you pass it a string and you say, I want this amount of numbers or of characters from that string, and it will randomize. So if you pass ABC, you say 1, it will give one of these 3 characters, but you can give it a length of 100 and it will generate a string with those characters, which is pretty cool. There's get float, which makes sense to be available. You could already generate random integers and then convert them to floats, of course, but this is a good addition as well. So yeah, let's I want to scroll through some of these things that I think are maybe a little less interesting. Here is another example of a breaking change, but polishing again. You could pass a lot of weird things into the range function that didn't make any sense, and those things are fixed now, basically. So I think that's a good thing. And I was actually looking, stack overflow detection here. This is a pretty interesting one. There wasn't an RFC for it. It was a pull request. It makes sense because there's nothing to decide here. But this is a feature where you, when you would run into segmentation faults before, PHP will now be able to throw an exception with a stack trace and point you towards the right place where things went wrong. Think about like infinite loops that are like classes within classes that are calling themselves and recursion and stuff like that. Super difficult to debug because previously PHP would just say segmentation fault and you're done. Try to fix it. Now there's a stack trace, and it was such a small thing and not really talked about that much. But I think actually this is my favorite feature of PHP 8.3. It's one of these things you won't notice it until you run into a problem, and then you're like, oh yeah, thanks.
That's good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there are some new functions here. I think we're nearing the end. There are also, again, some deprecations for PHP 9 and some other very small but notable changes. But that is about it for PHP 8.3. As someone said in chat, I pressed the wrong button. As someone said in chat, it's a smaller release. Let's take a look here. Kevin, it was. It's a smaller release. It's just maintenance. It improves the language stability. Let's focus on stability, baby. Definitely.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm happy with it.
I still know that when I think it was macOS Snow Leopard, I think, when it got released, and its major feature was 0 new features, just focus on stability. And the crowd cheered. And I think this is like the same case. Like, okay, it's good. It's good to just get our language, the things that we have, and just make it a little bit better. There's a lot of value in that as well.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I see lots of new people joining the stream as well. Just a quick recap. I'm here with Roman and Freek, and we're celebrating PHP Day today because PHP 8.3 is getting released, and we just took a look at what's new in PHP 8.3, but there are some other things I wanted to do as well today. I made a little, these live stream gamers and stuff like that. They often do these tier lists, right? And they have a bunch of things they want to rate, and they go through it and they order it in a tier list. And that's what I want to do with you, Freek and Roman, but also with all people in chat. Right, I'm really interested in getting a feel about what kind of features are nice, and like as Roman said, going back in the past and looking like what's actually working now and what isn't, and what can we learn from that. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do right now. I made a beautiful tier list. I'm a top designer, totally not.
Wow.
I just made an Excalibur sketch there, but it's good enough. I wrote down like the features that I think stood out to me most. Definitely not everything, and it goes back to PHP 7.4, 7.3, and I also added traits because I was excited about it. I've been recently getting more and more excited about traits, but I realized this list isn't complete. So if people want to suggest new features, leave them in chat, and then we'll add them here, and we'll add them to our tier list as well. Okay. So how are we going to do this? I have 4 levels, right? Mm-hmm. There's the meh features, the things that you feel like, okay, I don't really know if it adds value. It could be personal, right? It can be a very personal thing. This isn't a definitive list. It's just a fun thing to do.
Are we going to do the final keyword as well? So we can.
I said you can. Yeah, we could. But
was more meant as a joke, but
we probably have to put him in 2 places here. But,
yeah.
It's okay. It's just the small things that make your daily life better. The great features are the features that you're like, yes, I'm excited about these. These really have an impact. And the GOAT are the greatest of all time features, the things that you've been waiting for years. If at one point we would get generics, it would be, I think, right here on top. But generics aren't happening, people. You know that. I've talked about that, unfortunately. Maybe they will, but that's a topic for another day. There aren't any generics right now, so we cannot add them to this list, but there are lots of other great features here. So yeah, I want to go through them. We'll go through them one by one and leave chat a little bit of time to say yes or no. Maybe you can just leave a thumbs up or down emoji, and then we can take your feedback into consideration. Okay, Freek, is there maybe one thing in this list that you that stand out that you wanna add to our tier list at first?
Yeah, there's something that I just use every day, I guess, and it has resulted in me typing much less code. I guess everybody loves this this feature, and that is property promotion. For me, that is like a GOAT kind of thing, because you use it, you do that every day without even thinking about it. But if you would lose property promotion, you would curse a lot, I think. Yeah.
People don't realize, or at least no. Let's say it otherwise. We're getting used to it so quickly that we forget how it used to be. Property promotion without property promotion, I mean. And yeah, hey people, leave a like, a thumbs up or thumbs down in chat. If you want property promotion to end up here, but I think there will be some consensus here that it's one of the greatest features. It's property promotion. It doesn't add anything new to the language function wise, but it's just such an amazing new like convenience for developers, right? It's
your code just looks better. It's way less characters, but there's no meaning lost at all. Exactly. And that is fantastic.
And well, to add to that,
go ahead.
Yeah, the research that I was referring previously, it shows that property promotion is one of the mostly used new features with attributes.
Yeah,
Oh
I think
yeah,
if you use like property promotion once, you're going to use it for the rest of your life. I think it's
yeah,
as big as that. Yeah.
yeah. Cool. Okay, Roman, do you want to pick one? It's quite a big list to go through.
Enums. Can I pick enums?
Oh yeah,
Ah,
Can
definitely.
I, put them to goat?
yeah,
Oh yeah, yeah. Want to explain
yeah.
why?
I was, I mean, I was making my pet project, and I was which used a lot of constants. I don't know if anyone knows. There is this FL Studio, a music tool,
Yeah.
and I
Hmm.
was trying to, and it has this a binary format of project, and I was trying to parse this binary format, and I used constants like a lot.
Hmm.
And I was so annoyed of using class constants. I mean, it worked, but as soon as I got enums, it looked
Yeah.
so much better now. I love it. I love enums. It's one of the best additions, and I really like the way they are implemented. I think
Hmm.
we lack a little bit of polishing. They need some minor additions to them,
Hmm.
but in general, the enums are so good. I love
Yeah.
them. And
Yeah, I can only
I
agree
think
there. I when I worked at Spatie a couple of years ago, we made a package for it, right? That was before enums were in PHP, and we wanted kind of different style than the very popular MyClabs enums implementation. But that's all gone now, for the better, I would say.
Yeah,
So
yeah, indeed. And like Roman, I really like how it's implemented in PHP. Yeah, really love it. Yeah.
cool. Okay, now it's my time to pick, and let's actually go to attributes. And if I would say, if I get to choose, I would put them in gold, but actually I'm going to put them in great. But you can disagree, of course. And the reason why is because I would really like to see some more an improved API for doing reflection with attributes. You're
Yeah.
always kind of stuck with getting a list of attributes and then filtering that further. While the only thing I'm most of the time interested in is just give me the
Is it
first
there?
attribute instantiated from a class,
Yeah.
or a function, or whatever. So that's why I would put it in great. I think it's one of the greatest additions to PHP, but there's still some room for improvement there. And yeah, I wouldn't call them GOAT yet.
Yeah, I think like functionality wise, they're pretty fantastic, and the way that you can just define them and add behavior to them is pretty good. But it the usage sometimes, or if you create attributes and everything around it feels a little bit heavy still.
Exactly.
But it's
Okay.
good to have in the language.
Yeah.
yeah, I agree that they should go to grade for now,
Yeah.
because there are a little bit things that can be done, and specifically I can name, like, I don't like that you have to still use both PHP docs and attributes. Like, you cannot migrate everything to
Yeah.
attributes. And one of the places you can do this is the call level. For example, you can add attributes at declaration level,
Yeah.
but not inside of the code. Like, when you
Yeah.
cannot add attribute to a variable, for example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is one thing missing, but I agree that it's a really great feature.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, let's move on. Let's maybe this one pops into my eyes here. Union intersection and disjunctive normal form types. Do you have any opinions on that?
For me, it's of course good that kind of polish is there. It's again, it's like a polishment of the type system. For me, it's somewhere between great and it's okay. It's
Yeah.
good to have there, but it's like not a feature where I get I get too excited about it because it just feels like normal to have there. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I feel as well. It's
Yeah.
okay, and people in chat seem to agree. So let's move it there, and
Yeah.
let's take a look at Maybe let's take a look at traits here.
Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, this is an interesting one, right? Hey, let me share you something, something with you that I only recently, when there was the interface default methods RFC, it didn't pass, right? But it got me reading into the concept of multiple inheritance, and the combination of interfaces and traits without ever having to rely on extending parent classes or abstract classes. I've been trying that out, and I really like that approach. It might be a bit too like purist, but Freek, you know, I like. I like to do
I
that.
know you.
But it's a really nice approach. And before that, I was like, traits, I don't know about them. I actually feared that they would promote like anti-patterns of trying to put too many things in one class. And now I actually think combining them with interfaces and being able to have small interfaces and small traits and just build classes from there and extend on that functionality. Yeah, it's pretty powerful. So I'm somewhere between Goat and Great, personally.
For me, it's a goat for sure, and like maybe above the box of goat even. This is like for me, it's like a core feature. You know, I rely on this so much for many different types of things. Not only like for reusing a little piece of code across classes, but also with like the interface and trait combination, like you said, and also just for like, and maybe people are going to get mad if I say this, like just for structuring like classes sometimes, like a single use trait, which is sounds a little bit weird because traits are used to share a code, but it's also pretty great to just organize your code a little bit.
No, I've done that before as well. I think I don't think people will agree to put it above Goat, but I think it can
Goat is good.
Go here.
Yeah.
I watched like the Primeagen, who's his favorite popular YouTuber. He took a look at PHP, like modern PHP, and when they showed traits, his mind was blown. And I was like, is it really that big a feature? I mean, but apparently people who are using other languages who are used to traits, it's kind of a big deal. So I agree, it can go here. Let's take a look at another interesting one. Deprecated dynamic properties. What do you guys think about it?
This isn't really a feature. It's a thing that has gone away. I was a little bit afraid when I first heard about this, that they were doing this, because this I thought might break some things. Maybe not in production code, but like in test suits. I think in test suits I'm a little bit more I don't know how you say that, dynamic or something like that.
Okay.
But it didn't result in a lot of problems, and it actually caught some bugs when this was introduced. Like, hey, there's like that property isn't there, and it should be there. Let's add it there. So I think for me it's an okay thing. Yeah.
Roman, what about you?
I think for me it's more like between meh and it's okay. I'll explain why. The reason is, I mean, when the first version of the RFC, it said that if at some point we remove these dynamic properties at all from engine, that would actually make PHP more efficient in memory. And that makes sense a lot. That makes a lot of sense to me, because it will make every object smaller. But it seems like they will never be removed. So they will be deprecated, but never removed, because this std class extension and the attribute is there. So it seems like they will never be removed. And then if it's never be removed, then I'm not sure if it's worth it, the whole deprecation. So
Yeah.
I'm kind of in between.
Yeah, I agree. Let's
But and I'm
let's just.
and I'm more like on the dynamic camp, so I really like dynamic stuff. I know it's not good many times, but when quickly hacking stuff, I really
Yeah.
like it.
No, I agree. I think like the major motivation for deprecating them, or like the major win, was to gain performance in the long run, and it looks like that's not going to happen. So yeah, it's definitely somewhere in between, because it's still, like Freek says, it might help in some cases. So let's keep it just here. Who cares? Short closures.
Yeah, that is a GOAT feature, right? That's in the same category as property promotion. You just use it every day, and should they ever dare to deprecate this, then there will be like a revolt in PHP. So yeah, definitely GOAT.
So I was actually, you're not going to believe this, but
Oh my God.
I was
Grant,
going to put it in math. You
what
know
the
why? No, 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 no. But you know why? You know why? Because it's missing multi-line short closures. Because,
yeah.
because
Yeah.
you know how many times I start with a short closure and then I think, I'm gonna need 2 lines. Okay, let's change the whole definition instead of just adding braces or something. It's super annoying. But at the same time, it's I agree, it's a good feature. It's you use it all the time. It's probably together with property promotion, one of the greatest features added to PHP in recent years. So I agree, but I have very mixed feelings about it. I don't know if Nuno is still here. He made an RFC for multi-line short closures. Roman, you're here as well. You're with the PHP Foundation. I want
Make it happen.
I want to submit a formal request
Yeah.
that we look again at multi-line short closures. I think the PHP community at large would be very, very happy with that.
Yeah. Next year, we are going to sit here again. And we are going to ask you, Roman, have you succeeded in doing this for the entire community? Yeah, that will be the stream as Roman succeeded.
Oh, I'm sorry, Roman.
I would put it to great for the same reason. It's great, but I really would love to see multi-line short closures.
Okay, let's put it at the bottom of good. Okay, let's continue here. Redacted parameters, maybe. I hope we can work through our list. There's quite a lot of things here. Redacted parameters. Any feelings?
No, it's just basically no feelings at all, I guess.
Okay.
It's a nice feature, but
I think it's okay.
It's okay, yeah.
Roman,
it's a very dry
I don't even
thing.
remember what is that, to be honest.
It's like where you can mark like arguments with the sensitive parameter attribute.
Oh yeah.
It won't be in your
gotcha.
exception.
And
No,
then
no, I think it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's just adds security. It's a great addition. I mean,
yeah.
I wouldn't call it great, but it's a good one.
Yeah. Just to clarify, some people are asking about it. It makes it so that some data isn't shown in stack traces, which is useful. Say you make a database connection with a password and you use a third party like error tracker or something. Freek, you made one too, Flare, right? Little shout out there.
Thanks.
When you send stack traces to a third-party service, if they contain passwords or other sensitive information, you're not that happy about it. So, yeah. Okay, moving on. Underscores for numeric values. Does anyone use that? I do actually. I use it like to group large numbers. It's like that. So, any feelings about that, or can we just move it to it's okay?
I would say like maybe it's a little bit too enthusiastic, but I'm enthusiastic by nature a little bit. I would say like it's a great thing, you know.
Really?
It isn't like a sexy thing or anything.
Yeah.
But I tend to look at like features and these kind of things, like what would happen if we didn't have it, and then big numbers would become unreadable again. So. Yeah, for me, it's a great thing, even though it isn't sexy at all. It's just like a nice addition which improves readability, and I'm a sucker for for readability stuff. So
Gotcha.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah.
I see so very mixed feelings about it in chat as well. So, Freek, if you're okay with it, I'm gonna keep it with it's okay.
Okay,
But
bye bye everybody.
yeah. Hey,
No,
talking
no.
about mixed feelings, what about the mixed type? This for me is something I want to move to the meh column. You know why? Because I think no one should use mixed types. They aren't a good thing, in my opinion. It's like the any type in TypeScript. Avoid it, basically. I understand why it was added, because there's legacy stuff, but my personal opinion, if I'm working on like an open source project or something, I don't want to see mixed in that code base, honestly, because it says nothing, and it promotes like bad practices. And people in chat are saying that we sometimes need mixed. I know, but it's nah. I would have preferred, I don't know, not having it, basically, because it's promoting bad practice, in my opinion. I'm sorry if I'm a bit too harsh here. Roman, maybe you want to share something from the dynamic side of PHP.
I would say I would move it to meh, because but not well, because of the reasons you mentioned. Actually, it's different. The problem is this question here. So mixed is not the same as not having type at all.
Yeah.
And in fact, if you have your legacy code base that doesn't have mixed declaration, and then you added this mixed declaration, these methods will not be compatible. This is so annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
So there is a new RFC that right now is in draft state, I think, and it suggests to kind of have mixed by default for at least properties.
Yeah.
Which is a one step like further to basically standardize and think. Otherwise, at current state, I'm kind of disappointed about it. I mean, it was when I read the original receipt, it made sense, but on practice, it turned out to be a little bit disappointing.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least we have something in the meh column now. Freek, did you want to say something?
Yeah, for me, mixed. It's okay to put in like the meh thing, because I don't use it that much at all. For me, yeah, I can see a little bit of value there if you, for instance, create some kind of, I don't know. I don't have a concrete example, but say for instance that you create like some kind of interface where you maybe put like the mixed type as the return type. Then you can hint to people, hey, your function, your implementation should return something. I don't care what, but you should definitely return something. It's a little bit like the void thing. Like no matter what your implementation will do, just don't return something, because we're not going to use it. And for me, it falls a little bit into that category. Like maybe it doesn't have like a lot of value, but you can like hint people to like what you think your function should do.
Okay. Yeah.
But it stays in the meh. It's good.
Okay. Let's move on.
Yeah.
What about match? Any feelings? Roman. Goat.
Yes.
Freek, what about
you?
you?
One of the best.
Yeah, for me as well.
Yeah,
it's such a nice addition.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's move on. Read only. There's gonna be some difference here, maybe.
I would say for me it's okay. Because I don't use it that much myself, but I can see some value in it. I can see value in it for people that do want it. Maybe it's great. You know, I'm not. Let's not do just the okay thing, but it's great because what makes PHP good is like people have options to have different styles, and even if I don't use it, I should recognize that this is a great feature to have. Yeah.
I just read in chat that Adrian said read only next to final. Okay, Adrian, then I'll put them here. No problem. Here we go. and we can move. No. I actually, so personally, I would put them in it's okay because it's still missing some functionality. I think especially clone width is an important one,
Yeah.
and yeah, in combination with property accessors might be interesting as well. So, Roman, are you okay with putting it? It's okay.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, cool. Let's take a look. Fibers. What about fibers?
I would say like I'm not the audience for
Yeah.
fiber, so that I can't really put it into box. You should ask it to the
Yeah.
package and the frameworks that use this.
Yeah, so it's a feature
Yeah.
specifically designed for improving async frameworks, and I've played around with it a little bit. I once made a package as well to handle async PHP, very simplistic. That's in the Spatie repository somewhere, Freek.
I think it's fork, right?
Fork and async, there were two packages.
And async, yeah.
I would say, despite me not being the direct target audience, I think it's great because if you see how easier it makes async programming for those lower level frameworks, I think Fibers deserves to be here, honestly. Especially like they have proper I don't know the right word, but stacks and memory stacks. People used to use yield to do stuff in between and to switch between different parts of code, and that was super difficult to debug. Fibers just streamline all of that. I think it's a great feature if you're within the target audience. So let's move on there. Type properties. Really?
No. This is goat. This is goat stuff. Sorry, I was joking.
Okay.
No, this is goat stuff. I guess everybody will agree on this one. Yeah. No,
goat. Yeah.
Imagine going back to not having this.
Wow.
Then we go to like the PHP 4 days or something. No, let's not do that.
Well, type properties were added in 7.4, so it's actually going back to the 7.3 days.
Okay.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think most people will agree, right? Yeah, people are agreeing in chat as well. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to live without this.
What about null coalescing?
For me, this is also a go thing. Like, it's just so good to have. It improves like readability. I wouldn't want to live without it.
I think ask yourself the question: what if null coalescing wasn't available in PHP? Can you imagine like the is set code blocks we would write everywhere?
Yeah. Been there.
Yeah. Roman, how about you? What do you feel? How do you feel about it?
I think I don't develop that much, so I don't use it a lot recently. But it's a nice feature. I would put it to its oak personally, but if you think it's a code, I wouldn't mind.
I'm somewhere in between here. Not because it's I don't think it's a great feature, but because if I compare it to the features in the GOAT list, I think I would put it here, if that's okay.
For me, it's okay. I would put always things a little bit higher, I think, maybe of the optimistic nature.
Everything except final. But let's talk about final, Freek. Let's talk about final.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Have to show my true colors now.
Yeah. No, but maybe let's agree not to dive too deep into the topic.
Because we have a lot of other things to do.
Yeah. I'll try to make a very neutral argument here. That well, maybe it's not that neutral, but I think that
then I'm going to make a neutral talk as well.
I think that let's not force people to use it, but if people and projects want to use it for good reason, and importantly, structure their code so that if we're talking about open source packages, people can actually use their code without having to run into problems with final. I think it's a good addition. So maybe let's agree to put it in it's okay.
Yeah. For me, great would be good as well because, like I said, I even though I don't feel like I'm the target audience for Final, it's good that it exists in the language for people who like that feature.
Roman, any additions here? Any words of wisdom?
I agree. So for example, someone mentioned that final should be default, and some languages indeed have
Yeah.
a default
Yeah.
for classes. But I agree that, I mean, it's okay that it is in the language. Yeah. But I like flexibility as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Moving on, named arguments. I would say somewhere between goat and great, personally. Remember, by the way, how many people were scared that named arguments would like break,
destroy the language.
Destroy the language? That didn't happen. This is good to look back. So
for me, it's a goat feature. Yeah.
Yeah?
I'm sounding like a broken record here, but yeah, it's a goat feature. It's a goat feature.
Okay.
It's a goat feature. I really like it. Certainly for like when you have like this function that has like a lot of arguments with like a lot of default arguments, and you want to just pass something for the last argument. It is so good. It's also very good for like creating like API kind of things. If you want to pass like a property list, then having like those names in your code, it's very good. It's also good for like when you want to pass a boolean or something like that. It's also golden to make that more readable. So there are like a lot of scenarios where this is useful, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Go to this. Hey, let's do a quick round now. I'll just take one. I'll count to 3, and then you just shout whatever you think it should be. Okay? So class on objects. 1, 2, 3. I would say okay.
Great.
So,
Roman?
See,
it's okay. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
Okay. 1. How about JSON validate? 1, 2, 3. Okay.
Great.
Okay.
So. Okay. This is a difficult one, maybe, but the never type. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Okay.
Okay. Good. We're getting through it. Weak maps.
This is faster. This is a faster process.
Yeah, but there are some other ones that we'll look into some more. But,
Okay.
Weak maps. 1, 2, 3. I think.
Great.
Great as well. Roman. Great. Yeah. Yeah, I think especially for frameworks and lower level code, this is actually an important one. Training commas. Sorry.
Yeah, if you use like something like Laravel or like I know Laravel uses it like a lot in the entire ecosystem via the once function. In the once function is built around a weak map, so even if you think you're not using it, you're using it all over the place.
Okay. Trailing commas everywhere. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Goat.
Okay, that's No, we're not gonna go into there. But okay, good. Array spreading and unpacking. 1, 2, 3. Great.
Goat.
Great.
Great. Let's take a look. Non-capturing catches. Do you know what it is?
Is that for regex? Is that
no, it's for exceptions. You can basically
not have the variable.
Specify the
Okay. Yeah.
I think it's okay.
I think it's great.
For me, okay. String contains the function.
Goat.
Really?
Goat.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, it's just so nice that it's just there.
Okay. Randomizer, I would say great. How about you?
Okay.
Roman?
I think it's great.
Okay.
Yeah. That's really great. Yeah.
Stringable interface, I would say meh.
I tend to meh, but I mean, I think it's probably okay.
It's okay. Yeah. Meh sounds so negative. It's okay. It's
I
like
agree.
it doesn't do no harm, and it has value
Yeah.
for somebody. For me, the mech category is like this is like harmful for everybody. Just
Okay,
don't
Yeah.
use it.
let me. How do I unlock all of this? I don't know. Unlock here. No, it doesn't work. Okay, never mind. Let's say meh from now on means it doesn't do any harm.
Okay. Okay, harmless.
But
It's okay and harmless.
the null safe operator, and just to be clear, that's this one, right? I can this one, like being able to call methods on potentially null objects.
All right. It's a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing again.
Well, no, I want to
No?
maybe
All
hear
right.
your opinions on this. Yeah.
For me, this is like a core feature. Like this is I use this so much. For me, it's a goat kind of thing.
Goat.
A thing like if you reverse this, if you take this away from me, I'm going to be sad.
Yeah. No, I agree. Good. Throw expressions. This can be a quick one. Does anyone? It's like where you can use the null coalescing and then throw new. Oh, it's so that you can use throw in statements. I think.
Yeah.
So throw expression. I think it's great. How about you guys?
I'm
I'm
doubting
one,
between
it's
great
okay.
and goat.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just one of the things that for newcomers, this is like, why can't I put like a throw statement after like a null coalescing thing? Why can't I do this? This is stupid. And this just fixes that. But maybe I'm a little bit too enthusiastic in this case.
Yeah.
Great is good.
Maybe you're just always off by one error here.
Yeah. If I would design if I would design PHP, the indexes would start at 1.
Yeah, probably. I see some great here, some okay. Let's move it. Let's put it in great here. New in initializers, which means you can, like, if you have a constructor, you can have like default like arguments is new collection, something like this. You used to be able to only have scalar values here as defaults.
Yeah.
Now we can do this. That's new in initializers.
It's great.
Great. Freek?
I would say, and I'm completely out of character here, it's okay.
Yeah?
Because it has like a lot of restrictions on it, right? You can only use new. You can't use like a static method or something like there. I think it could be a little bit improved.
Okay, I agree with Freek.
Oh, okay. Let's move it there. Standalone, null, true, and false. This is, for me, this is also meh, but I'm okay moving it too.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Good. There's an array is list function, which will basically check whether an array has starts at index 0 and goes 1, 2, 3, 4 without any gaps. Basically, if you use JSON encode on this array, it will result in an array instead of an object. Basically, that's how I remember it. What do you think about it?
Never use it actually. So I guess meh. If we rename meh to mostly harmless or okay,
I think
be.
Yeah, I would go okay.
Yeah.
I would go.
Yeah.
Okay. A couple more. What about the JIT? Roman, maybe do you have some information about the JIT? Like, what's the recent development there?
Oh yeah, I mean, if you're not following there is a new implementation of JIT. It's already merged, and the idea there is that it will be decoupled from PHP project. It will be developed separately as a kind of standalone reusable tool that can be used by other tools. And we hope that will kind of fix the bus factor issue. Because currently, I mean, before this, the JIT was only Dmitri's area. Only he knew how to what's going on there, and that effectively made the bus factor of this area 1. So we hope this is going to be fixed, and maybe it will open some new applications for JIT. Before that, I think it was more like meh, because it really didn't bring many performance improvements. But I hope it will be at least okay, or maybe great soon.
Yeah, I'm very, very torn about this one, especially because for web applications, benchmarks show that it doesn't have like a huge impact. But for console applications, like for example, static analyzers, it could really make a difference. It's also a cool thing to have in a language. Probably I was talking to someone who writes Python, and he said, yeah, we don't have a JIT. I'm like, hey, PHP has a JIT. Apparently JavaScript has 8 different JIT implementations, but I don't know. Let's
Okay, so it's good for like bragging rights with people from other languages in a bar or something. And I would say it's okay.
People say in chat, people say goat, people say great, goat, great. Maybe so. Let's say great for now. Is that okay?
All right. That's great.
Good. FFI, which is a form function interface, and it allows PHP code to interact with C binaries basically, and Rust as well, but that's also compiled to, I think, SO files or something. Anyway, I don't use FFI, but it's pretty powerful.
It's cool, and it's strange that I've never experimented with it because it seems so powerful, but same as you, Brent, I haven't played with it too much.
Yeah, maybe people in chat can give their opinion here. I can see goat, super is in the category here, but great. Yeah. Okay, let's. I think it's even though I'm not in the target audience, I think it's an important feature for PHP, especially if we're looking at PHP's future. So yeah, let's move it here to goat. Okay, couple more to go. Preloading. Preloading came with PHP 7.4 and allows you to basically have a special script that boots once, loads classes into memory, into opcache at a special place somewhere, and then for all subsequent requests, you don't have to load those classes anymore. So in theory, it should provide a pretty important performance boost. But honestly, I've played around with it, and then I never used it again. I don't know about it. It's something that I forgot, or yeah. How about you? Are there any people in chat who are using preloading in production? Let us know. Yeah, goat. People are okay. Roman, Freek, any?
I've never used this. I'm in the same boat as you, Brent, where I toyed a little bit with it when it became available, and then I didn't use it because the difference wasn't that big.
I know there was like an initiative where Composer would generate a preloading script for you, but I don't think that ever got merged into Composer. So it means that you had to write it yourself, which was kind of counterproductive as well. But people say good for DevOps, goat, great, it's okay. I'm gonna put it here, I think.
Yeah.
Improved type variants. Basically, you have covariance and contravariance for return types and parameter types. If people don't know what that means, if you have like a parent class that returns, for example, foo, then you can override that parent class and have that function return a subset of foo. So change the return type, but still keep all type safety. And it's the other way around, contravariance for parameters. You can widen the types during inheritance, and you can narrow the return type. That's a very short explanation for something that's pretty complex, actually. But improved type variants, it's something that I think we don't think about that much anymore. No. But it's super good that we have it. So I would put it with great personally. How about you?
Yeah. For me as well. You don't use it consciously, but again, my argument: if you would remove this, you would notice. I think so. I would put it in great. Yeah.
good, great, good. Some people in chat. Okay, let's put it with great here. Then there are first class callables. And in case you're unaware of what that is, it's this syntax that allows you to create a closure, a reference to the foo function that's defined somewhere else. It basically is a shorthand for wrapping the foo function in a closure and then calling it. So I really like first class callables, honestly.
If I'm honest, I learned about it that syntax this year. Even I think that's something that I missed. It was like, what is this? And I was like, oh, this is nice.
Let's put it with great. I think, Roman, do we have some input on there?
I would put it in goat, but yeah, it's great. So either goat or great, I'm fine with both. Let's
same.
Great.
I'm gonna go with my gut feeling here. Okay, the override attribute. I
would say mostly harmless.
Mostly harmless.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. I'll put it with it's okay, because Roman, you actually gave me a good use case for like framework projects. If you're upgrading vendor code, it might actually be helpful. So, okay. The last one, string starts and string ends with.
For me, that's goat. Like, it's so nice that it's there, you know.
String contains.
Yeah. Imagine the code that we used to do. If you don't use like a helper class with PHP natively to do stuff like that, together with string contains, you don't want to do that. It's good that those functions are there.
Okay, cool. That's our list. Did we miss any features? Let us know in chat right now. Of course, we missed features, but is there anything that you feel that should be added to this list that we haven't gotten to yet? Let me check here. Yeah, well, there's some some delay on the stream, of course. So there's something null coalescing assignment. This one, like this one. But I thought null coalescing meant
it covers that as well. Yeah.
Okay. DNF is missing.
DNF? No, DNF is not missing. I think it was in
here.
Yeah.
Disjunctive normal form types.
Yeah.
There is DNF. Okay. So I think with that being said, I'll let's go back to here, and I think we made a good list, and it kind of reflects my feeling about PHP. You know,
notice that there are much more like positive features than that there are things in the meh category.
Yeah. We don't call it meh anymore, Freek.
No, mostly harmless.
Mostly harmless. No, but cool. I think for me, having seen this list and made it, I think PHP is doing pretty good, and we have gotten quite a lot of cool things over the past years, and I'm especially looking forward seeing how it will evolve in the near future, and how the PHP Foundation will help with that as well. Yeah,
indeed, and if we will have multi-line closures next year on this date.
Exactly.
That's
everyone mark it in your calendars. End of November at the launch of PHP 8.4 or PHP 9, and actually I'm not sure if that's decided yet.
Yeah, I think it'll be .4.
Yeah, makes sense.
When to already have like a blog post with like RFCs or things?
No, I start in January, February usually.
Okay, yeah.
After the Christmas holidays.
Yeah,
let's first wait until 8.3 is released. Actually, Roman, quick question. The release has been tagged already, but I don't know if like the announcement has been made.
It has not been made. It will be made in Jakub, one of the PHP Foundation developers and the release manager for PHP 8.3. He's told me that he's going to announce it at 3 p.m. UK time. So it's like an hour and a half.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. But we're not gonna wait for that on stream.
Yeah.
We're gonna conclude here. But I really enjoyed being here with you, Roman and Freek, and with all people in chat. We're still more than 100 people here. That's crazy cool. Thank you for being here, everyone. Thank you for making PHP great. It's all because of you and us here being together. We're building packages, we're making frameworks, we're building projects with it. Internals is doing great work. PHP Foundation. I'm so looking forward to what's gonna happen next with it. So yeah, thank you everyone. Enjoy upgrading to PHP 8.3, I would say, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
All right. Thanks, Brent.
Bye.